Hey, we back with another banger video. You feel what I'm saying? Now we got this chick. Either she been smoking too much, you know what I'm saying, or doing something she shouldn't be, putting something in her nose, something, or she might be on to something. You know what I'm saying? But because I've always had questions about Antarctica. Why won't they let us behind? Like why won't they let us behind the ice wall? You know what I'm saying? Like if it's just something normal, why can't we go? I always had questions about that ever since I found out about it, but I guess AI just revealed to her a secret that could possibly true on why they won't let us behind there, which is crazy. But I ain't gonna hold y'all for too long. Y'all gonna grab y'all some water, whatever it is y'all doing. Y'all watch my videos, come and rock with your boy. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't gonna hold y'all for too long. My camera looks crooked. All right, let me fix it. Okay, we straight now. But hey, let's get to the video, fam.
So, I'm really big into conspiracies. That is my guilty pleasure. And I was watching this girl basically ask AI what's behind the ice wall. And y'all, when I explain it, I'm going to sound dumb because I cannot explain it like AI. But what I heard, it's real. Because one, I'm gonna put this quick side note, and I need y'all to keep this side note in your head. Why is it so easy for us to believe that there is a fucking ice wall so big that there's just nothing behind it, and some reason we just can't get past it? Nobody can. Like, why is that so hard for our brains to believe? Okay, keep that in your head as I tell you this. Okay.
All right, well, hold on,
So
guys.
she proceeds to ask the ice
for
wall,
a second.
what?
All right, we're gonna go to Google. All right, an ice wall in Antarctica most commonly refers to the Ross Ice Shelf, a massively nearly vertical cliff of ice that is the edge of a floating ice sheet. While it is a natural feature that acts as a barrier to sailing further south, a conspiracy theory claims it is a continuous wall surrounding a flat Earth. Scientifically, this ice wall is not a continuous boundary, but a collection of many ice shelves, and is an important part of how Antarctica's glaciers interact with the ocean. Why won't they let us over there? You feel what I'm saying? I try to read it fast as I possibly can so we can get back to what she's talking about.
So she proceeds to ask AI what's behind the ice wall. AI says, according to the ancestors, this is what's behind the ice wall. She said it is not just beautiful land. That's like what the usual, like, you know, what's behind the ice wall, a whole bunch of flourish, like grass, beautiful land. She said it's not just that. It's beings that are like Avatar, 8 to 10 feet tall. And when she described the beings, she said that they are melanated creatures, but they're human features, normal human features, just very big. Their lifespan is 3 times longer than our lifespan. They come from shades, I'm gonna say, like Spanish, Arab, you know, like that shade color.
But it's funny because they explain them beings in the Book of Enoch, a book they took out of the American Bible. Wonder why, and explains how these giants came into the land from a spiritual perversion. Basically, the fallen angels came and start. They liked the women, so they start having intercourse with the women, and from these women, you feel what I'm saying? They birthed giants. You feel what I'm saying? That's where you get Goliath. Goliath and his tribe. It wasn't just Goliath. We hear the story of David and Goliath. No, it was many giants. You know what I'm saying? And Amalekites, Hivites, Parasites. That's why God, like, hey, I need y'all to go and kill all these people off the land, because these people evil. They was made from perversions. You know what I'm saying? Not Bible study with 200. My fault.
Up to like Jamaica, Africa, like that shade color. That is the shades of what's behind the ice wall. That is how she said the ancestors described them looking like that. Right? Keep that in her. So then she proceeds to say the ice wall is actually we are not being kept out the ice wall. The things behind the ice wall is being quarantined from us. We are the people stuck, not the ice wall. We are stuck outside the ice wall. That's why we cannot get into the ice wall. Another thing is the government cannot get in. They have made, people who do conspiracies usually make you think like, oh, the government is the only one who can get in and out. The government, they can't even get into the ice wall, because this is what it is. We are quarantined in it outside of the ice wall because there is so much what's that word? Just so much shit going on here, okay? Like, so with our diseases, the fact that we can only live to fucking 80 years old, like all that thing, all the corruption is keeping us out of that. And another thing she said, we can't even cross the ice wall. If we were to, our brains could not fathom the frequencies of what's behind that wall. It's not even just a wall that is keeping us out. It is the frequencies. We have been basically locked in an area where we can't use we only use 10% of our brains. Our brains cannot fathom what is really going on. Simulation, okay? So she said, the ancestors say, if we were to pass the ice wall, we either one, our brains would automatically turn us around and make us leave because we just couldn't handle it. There's only a few people, there's only a certain type of person in the world, outside the ice walls who can basically train their brain to match the frequencies to get across, right? So basically, I'm going to assume she's talking about people like monks, people who dedicate their whole life to spiritual shit, because she's saying that, like, we just cannot fathom what's behind that wall. The energy, it's not even just about what's behind it. It's like the energies, the frequencies, all that shit, right? So she's like, we can't even do that. But y'all, it gets crazier. So I'm like, okay, I believe that. She says we would either turn ourselves around and then not even remember. Like, there are people who just can't even remember. She said there are some people who just drop to the ground, who just can't even function behind that wall. And then the ones who can, they take them in. They say you basically somehow are able to function in here, and they rehabilitate them, and they start living in that fucking what's behind the ice wall. Okay, right? And another thing she starts talking about the stars and the planets, and she starts saying stuff like how they are actually not outer space. She's like, we're in a simulation to believe that when we see Mars and we see we see Saturn and we see all those things, we see all the stars, she goes, we are programmed to think that is outside our world. That is not at all. We are all on the same Earth. We are all on the same thing, even if it is Earth. I don't know what the fuck this is after listening to this AI bitch. But anyways, we are on the same Earth. The only difference is the frequencies, right? So we're in a simulation made to think that we could never get to Mars. But she says there are people living on these planets, just living in different frequencies. But also, so in Avatar, the second movie, after seeing the first planet get destroyed, you start seeing that there are on the same planet, there are other different beings that look the same, but they're different and they're just a little different, just like different countries, right? So she's like, on Mars, she was starting to describe the people who live on Mars. She goes, the same 8 to 10 feet, same lifespan, way longer than us. But she said their heads are shaped a little differently, like a little ovally, and their skin tone is a more melanated red. So that's where we would get the whole red shit from Mars, right? And then she was saying the Saturn, the beings that live on Saturn. But the thing that blows my mind is the fact that we are made to believe that these are different planets. We are made to believe we can never reach these places. But in reality, we can't, because of how we're so stuck in a simulation. My brain can't even really, when I was listening to her even describe it, I was going into a panic attack. And I fear a normal human going past those frequencies, I would be the type to drop to the floor and fucking turn around, not believe what's going on. And I think that's 99% of the world. So it's we are kept out of those places. The whole time we are being quarantined out of places. So, I just want y'all to believe this. Think this, right? Because it all sounds fucking crazy. When we see all those movies about zombies, all those movies about apocalyptic shit, all those movies about things, now it's so much easier to believe that those movies are not the future. Those movies are the fucking past. Those movies are things that we've already lived, and we are quarantined into something. And they say zombies, blood eating human, we eat humans. What the fuck do y'all think's in our food? What the fuck do you think all these fast food restaurants are? They're recyclables of human meat, human flesh. What do you think all those
I hope that ain't true, because I still eat fast food. Now, I don't promote it. I don't eat it a lot no more, but I used to eat like McDonald's every day. But I still like McDonald's. You feel what I'm saying? I know that might be disgusting to some y'all, but I hope that ain't true.
In the funeral homes, those bodies that go missing, right? And then you gotta think of it like this too. When you looking at the phones and they say, oh, you're a zombie, everyone's a zombie, nobody's focusing on anything, they're only focused on the phones, the technology. Yeah! We're the zombies. We are quarantined out of what is really real. We were made to believe they went to the fucking moon. We were tricked into believing all these crazy ass things, bro, to make it like, oh my God, you see, my mind can't even handle this shit, y'all. And the thing is like, I'll tell my mom about all this stuff and oh yeah, another thing is, isn't it so funky that slaves, all the fucked up shit that happened, it's happening to melanated people. And in reality, those places that are quarantined away from us, they're all melanated people. And she's saying, and the AI was saying that our ancestors are trying to tell us that we're not in a punishment. There was just a group of us that was left behind, quarantined out, and that's just what populated into what we have now. And then, they kind of want you, they feed you these chemicals, they feed you all this shit to keep your mind from not really seeing, especially, to keep your mind, to keep your frequencies, to keep all of that shit down. So even if you wanted to pass that ice wall, you physically can't. That is what the simulation is doing. And I sound like a psychopath. Trust me, my mom says it all the time. She's like, oh, Hannah, you sound crazy. You sound fucking crazy. You could be scared, right? But then I sit and I think to myself, why is it so much easier for us to believe that we can't go to the moon? Why is it so hard for us to believe that there is a big wall that we just can't pass? All the shit the skyscrapers they build, for some reason we just can't get past the wall? No. We are programmed to believe these crazy things are normal, and they're not. And yeah, it's crazy, y'all. I've gotten so into this ice wall shit that I need to stop.
Alright, that's the edge. Well, she could be on to something, man, because that's something I always had questions about the ice wall. You know what I'm saying? What is really behind the ice wall? Y'all believe her? Y'all believe what AI think? Or do y'all believe that it's just nothing behind the ice wall? But all I know is something going on, because there is a reason they won't let us go over there. So that's just that. That's something to think about. That's something I always thought about, though, when I found out about it. I'm like, why? Y'all put in the comments why y'all think. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, see you guys next video. Always remember, be safe out here, kings and queens. Let's